Why do half of these kids end up with anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 in debt, and they end up getting a job that says, oh, sorry, you never needed the degree in the first place?
Charlie Kirk shuts down not one, but two college bros back to back, and it is glorious. These guys came in thinking they had something clever to say about college, debt, and job stats, but Charlie Kirk just steamrolled every weak point they tried to make. We're talking cold hard facts, savage comebacks, and zero tolerance for nonsense. From calling out the real cost of college to showing how little return most students actually get, Charlie Kirk tears apart the idea that college is some kind of golden ticket, and when they try to throw insults, man, Charlie Kirk just claps back harder. This is Charlie Kirk doing what he does best, destroying fake narratives with truth and confidence. Let's go.
I'd like to disagree with you about college as a scam.
Okay.
Just because there's 50% of people who you say don't need college to get a job, why would it be a scam? There's a social impact about college, on America. College is, good.
The majority of kids that go to college when they graduate have a lower view of America than when they entered. Do you think that's a troubling thing?
I think just changing your opinion doesn't really matter too much.
Do you think that college teaches responsibility and hard work and...
Sure.
Okay, well, I find that hard to believe. Why is it that employers are more and more not wanting to hire college graduates, and they actually want to hire people that didn't go to college?
What employers?
You can name them out, man. Walmart just got rid of their, even in their corporate level, so you don't need to go to college. Koch Industries, one of the largest employers in the country, from Georgia Pacific Railroad to Dow Chemical. They said we no longer want kids that have gone to college because they end up causing problems because they're super entitled. And they're like, oh, what are my pronouns? And they have all this like left-wing nonsense that they've been filled with.
Well, then you have engineers, doctors, lawyers, people that
Sure, we need that, but that's less than 20% of the people that go to college.
Yeah, but
college is
it'd
an
be wrong to
institution.
say college is a scam if 25% of people become great people. Lawyers, doctors, engineers.
That's not what
really
college currently is, though. Again, I'm happy to have you read the book. College is a scam. I wrote it. I can have a more wordy thing, which is the vast majority of people that go to college are receiving a scam for the money that they're borrowing. The vast majority. Of course there's exceptions. You can make whatever you want with your life. I mean, you could... But, I mean, when you enter into an enterprise, you need to know that you are
most people that go into college make more money at the end.
How many of you guys have to take classes that are a waste of time that you wish you wouldn't have to take? Every single hand. You're being scammed against your will to take classes that make you go further into debt. Why can't you say, I don't want to take this class? Why as a customer you can't say...
Can you do a differential equation?
You what?
Can you do a differential equation?
Can I do
Can you explain to me the anatomy of a human?
Like someone off the top of my head.
You know what psychology is.
Yes, I do know what psychology.
Okay,
I've read
can you
Freud and I've read
explain
Jung.
it to me?
Do you want me to explain psychology?
Well, you can't explain it to the depths of a bachelor's degree or a PhD.
Well, hold on a second.
Master's.
Time out. I've sat here with no notes, no phone, and debated people with PhDs,
because you study
masters.
this because it's your job.
Hold on. I didn't go to college, man. That's the point. Is you could do whatever you want without a college degree. You could listen to podcasts, read books. You don't need to go.
Gauss wasn't able to go to the University of Göttingen. That's literally the reason.
I can't hear what you said. What'd you say?
You know Gauss, right? Mathematician.
Yes, vaguely, sure. Okay.
Vaguely.
Yes, vaguely, yeah.
Oh,
do you know who Milton Friedman is? Do you know who Herbert Marcuse is? You know who Thomas Sowell is?
Do you use a phone?
Do you know who Gouverneur Morris is?
Well, that's because of Gauss.
No, you don't. So I could do gotcha too.
Like
so
Euler
went
going to university is the reason that he was able to become so proficient in mathematics.
So here's
and
the
change
thing.
the world.
The majority of kids that go to college are more depressed than when they enter.
PhD degree are able to perform much better in their field than someone who doesn't.
Well, then, if that's the question, if that really is true, if college is this amazing accelerant, then why do so many people...
I wouldn't say it is accelerant, but if you're looking at a field of science, right?
Let me finish, man.
And you want to accelerate that field of science,
or have you not done that yet?
You need a degree.
All right. Let me make my point. If that's the case, why do half of these kids end up with anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 in debt, and they end up getting a job that says, oh, sorry, you never needed the degree in the first place? Why is that the case? Tell me.
People on average, once going to college, make more money.
Hold on, that's not true. They end up getting a job. That's only if they graduate and it depends on the field of study. Do you know the average college graduate now is getting a job at $61,000 a year. The average plumber after 18 months, $68,000 a year.
This is where Charlie Kirk nails it. I mean, when Charlie Kirk brings up companies dropping college degree requirements, it's because they're tired of all the drama and entitlement that's coming out of some universities. Charlie Kirk is just keeping it real. Degrees don't matter if the mindset sucks. That's why more businesses are listening to Charlie Kirk. He's actually in touch with reality.
Well,
The
sure,
average
but the
welder,
plumber isn't able to
$72,000 a
study
year.
with peers.
The plumber didn't go to college. The plumber went to trade or technical school. There's 11 million job openings that do not require a college degree in this country.
Well, who
11
engineered the
million.
stuff plumbers use?
I'm sorry, what?
Who engineered the stuff plumbers use?
I'm sure someone here. I mean, that it's like
someone with a
it's like
degree
saying who
from
designed
college.
the airplane for the pilot to fly. I mean,
Someone with a degree that went to college. Pilots go to
I'm not
college.
I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying you get rid of all places of higher learning. The way it's currently comprised for you guys, the amount of debt you have to go into, the classes
You
that you
say
have to
don't
take.
get rid of places of higher learning, but then you go on to
you're
say
interrupting me
college
every
is a
15
scam.
seconds. You're not debating in good faith because it is a scam. So let me ask you a question. Can you point to other things of American life the last 100 years that have been scams? For example, when they run an advertisement, they say buy these pills because we're going to make you super muscular, and they don't have all the fine print that it might not work, and you have to have a monthly subscription. We shut down that business for being
That's
a
a little
scam.
different, though. That's a
How is it
product.
different? Hold on a second. When you show up to college, did they tell you you have to take all these classes that you didn't sign up for? Did they? It said that you're gonna have to take all these different classes. Did they tell you that half of you guys would not ever use your degree when you go into your career? How many of you guys knew that? You guys knew that when you signed up?
Well, college
knew
is
that.
what you
then
make of
you
it,
guys
right?
You guys are willingly participating in the scam. Good for you. The point is this, is that most kids know deep down they're getting ripped off. The number one thing I hear from people across the country in corporate America, boy, college is a waste of time. Boy, I wish I never would have gone. Now I have $60,000 of debt, $70,000 in debt. I wanted to start a business, but now I don't have the credit to do it. Instead, we are wasting our most prized possession, our 18 to 22-year-olds, to go stick them at many universities when they shouldn't be here in the first place. And it is a failed project. It is making us poorer. And by the way, just look at the actual numbers over a period of time. Has it worked? Is homeownership now going up for young college
Well, how
graduates?
are we going to blame that on college, though?
There's
a lot of different reasons that people are not able to buy homes.
It's the most equally applicable thing across the board for a
I wouldn't
generation.
say so.
And if you look at the average, how much debt do you have to go to school, by the way?
None.
None. Okay, wow. Are you on scholarship or?
Yeah,
Okay, so who's paying for your college then?
probably the federal government.
Okay, so I'm paying for your college, is what you're saying. My taxes are paying for your college. So wait, you're on grant or what?
I'm not going to discuss my college finances with
Well, no,
you.
this is really important. This is why you're so defensive of college.
Yeah?
This is why you're so forceful, because you don't have to walk around the rest of your life with a $100,000 student
I know
loan debt.
plenty of people that
because-
have part-time
hold on a second.
jobs and go to college.
This explains you perfectly. I, the taxpayer, when I write my check to the IRS, I'm subsidizing your ability to go to college.
Okay. When
And I
I
think that's a
write
huge
my
mistake,
check to the
'cause-
IRS, I
'cause
also give money for people to go to college.
You should have skin in the game. You should, and you don't right now. You are doing a freeloading thing. Of course, you should be defensive of
I
college.
pay taxes. I pay federal taxes.
Yeah,
I pay state taxes.
I'm sure I
state-
pay a
not
little
state
bit more
income
than you,
taxes,
but that's a separate issue. But the point is this: is
That's
that
probably true.
you think you pay anywhere close to the tuition value you get at the school? Probably not.
Yeah, probably I do. It's like $5,000 a semester. It's a lot of money, but you get a lot out of
Wait,
that.
hold on. How much is it to go to school here?
It's around 5,000
So in-state.
in-state. Yeah.
Okay, did that include room and board and tuition?
No.
Okay, how much does that cost?
Room, board, tuition, all of it's around 11,000.
11,000 a semester. So you pay $22,000 a year in taxes?
No.
Okay, got it. So you're in a tax deficit, which means the U.S. taxpayer is subsidizing your education. That's fine. I'm not faulting you for it, but this is why you're so defensive, is you're detached from the price. You're detached from the cost. It's easy to be defensive of something you're not paying for.
Hey, Kirk. My question is sort of a question/compliment. You're a very good public speaker. And I think a lot of people here might struggle with that. What I'm curious is somebody with so little education beyond high school and, just experience in the field, how are you able to so confidently just kind of word vomit, right? You said pretty much every question you've answered has been no answer. You've just kind of said what conservatives want to hear. So really all of your work is not a debate. It's just confirmation bias. So
Wanna have a debate?
Sorry?
You want to debate?
No, I'm good. I'm just curious where you learned
You sure?
where you learned how to public
I'm a high
speak.
school graduate. You're in college, man. Let's debate. I vomit for a living, you said. Yeah. Come on, let's debate.
No, I'm not here to debate. That's not,
No, you're
that's
just,
not my
you're
question.
just here to insult me.
Yeah, yeah, I am.
You're a hero.
Where did you learn how to public speak? Because you're really good at lying out of your ass.
What have I lied about? Name one thing I lied tonight about.
stats.
Name a second thing. No, name a stat. I said that's wrong.
You said 11 million jobs. You said 50%.
Yes, 11 million jobs are open for blue-collar work according to Mike Rowe and according to 3 independent studies according to the Department of Labor. Name another stat I said that's wrong.
I guess my main point
No,
is...
name a third stat that I said that's wrong.
When you say a stat or you just say numbers, it's helpful usually when you're public speaking to say where you got that information. Because people who disagree with you might not
so give me, no, but you give some examples. Where did I lie or say a stat that's not true?
This is vintage Charlie Kirk right here. Comparing college to real world scams is actually kind of genius. Like, you wouldn't keep buying something if it didn't work, right? But we're letting kids go into massive debt for classes they didn't want with no guaranteed outcome. Charlie Kirk is just asking people to wake up and look at what's really happening. And yeah, he's not wrong.
You need to work on not doing confirmation bias.
Wait, hold on. No, but you come up here and say, oh, how did you with a high school education learn to spew BS? Say one thing I said that was wrong, misleading, unfactual, not rooted in data. One thing.
You're doing it right now.
I'm asking you a question.
I was just making a comment, and you're spinning it. That's what you're really good at. That's why I think you're a good.
No, you came up here and insulted me. I'm asking you, how have I misled this audience? And you come unprepared, like not with a single data. I thought you'd at least have like one gotcha, man. Like one number, like one thing. 11 million job openings, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that require muscular labor and require just a 6-month technical training degree. That is true. At the apex, 15,000 people coming across the southern border every single day. I even said it's down a little bit. That is true. What have I said that's incorrect?
Do next. You're good at what you do, but not for the right reasons. That's all I'm saying.
They don't want to debate me because they can't debate me. They can't say one thing I said that's wrong. They can't name one data point. They just come up here and insult. You, my friend, are why we are going to beat you guys historically, because you are afraid to have a debate. Just, it's so amazing, the smugness. How'd you learn to speak like this in word vomit? Oh, what'd I say that's true? Everything. Name one thing. Name another thing. Name another thing. Yeah, you should ask for money back at KU. They're really scamming you, man. You'd think you'd have one little thing. All right.
That was tough to watch if you're on the other side. I don't know about you guys, but watching Charlie Kirk absolutely shut down these two college bros was something else. He didn't shout. He didn't dodge. Charlie Kirk just hit them with truth, stats, and straight up logic. Even when they tried to insult him, Charlie Kirk stayed solid. That's why people respect Charlie Kirk. He's not just talking, he's backing it up. And when someone tries to call him out, yeah, they better come prepared. Because Charlie Kirk doesn't miss. So, I mean, yeah, bottom line, Charlie Kirk didn't just debate. Charlie Kirk dominated. Again,